What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/AmITheButthole. Alright, this story's called, Am I the Butthole for Not Taking My Ex's Daughter on a Family Vacation? Background. Ex and I were together for 4 years, married for 1.5, and have a 9-year-old male, Noah, together. Ex cheated while I was pregnant, found out when sister-in-law told me that AP, sister-in-law's friend, was pregnant. When I found out, I took Noah and left. I have primary custody. X has weekends. X and AP and GF, I guess accidental pregnancy / girlfriend, have a 7-year-old female, Amy. X and I are usually pretty good when it comes to co-parenting because we have to be. While I usually avoid girlfriend for the obvious reasons and because we just don't mesh. Happened in 2019. Every year my family takes one big week-long vacation. It's a big deal for us because as kids, there's 6 of us, we couldn't afford it. Now that we're all adults and financially stable, we can afford this luxury. We decided that for the 2019 vacation that we're going to Disney World, Florida. Everyone's excited, and by April, everything is basically planned for the August trip. Transportation, accommodation, sightseeing, etc. That year, Noah spent spring break with X since he and girlfriend were taking the kids to visit X's family. During spring break, Noah tells everyone who asks how he's doing and how he's super excited about Disney World, Florida, especially since he helped research Disney World and things we could do in Florida. Now, this upsets Amy. According to ex-mother-in-law, ex-father-in-law, we still have a good relationship, Amy threw major tantrums the last 3 days of the trip. When I went to pick up Noah after the week, X and girlfriend wanted to talk to me. They tell me that Noah's been bragging about Disney World, Florida the whole week, and now Amy wants to go. So to make it fair, I should take Amy along too. In their words, I should help foster an equal relationship between the siblings. Girlfriend said that since they took Noah for a week, spring break, and gave me a break, the least I could do is take Amy for a week too. I laughed. I seriously laughed in their faces. 1. Amy's not my child, so not my responsibility. 2. This was a family vacation, and while Amy's met some of my family during Noah's birthday parties, she's not my family. 3. They took Noah for a week because X wanted him to spend time with his paternal family. 4. Frankly, Amy's a brat. X and girlfriend spoil her to no end, so she doesn't accept no and has to have it her way all the time. Obviously, I said no, that I have no obligations to Amy, and listed reasons 1 through 3, and thought 4. X gave up after the 3rd time asking, but girlfriend hounded me until the trip, calling me a butthole, among other names, saying they couldn't afford a trip to Disney World. Amy even asked me the couple of times I did pick up at their house when I was taking her to Disney World, before and after the trip. Girlfriend's made some snide comments recently when Noah said he was sad about not getting a 2020 vacation, and a couple of X and mine's mutual friends said that I could have just taken Amy to keep the peace. Well, I could have taken Amy. It would have been a financial strain for me. I really didn't want to deal with a child who wasn't mine. Am I the butthole? No, you're not the butthole. What? Like, how does that make any sense? Like, just because he cheated on you and had a kid with some other woman does not give you any responsibility for that kid, and especially if they're a brat. If the kid wasn't a brat, then maybe I'd just be like, well, hey, you resent the parents, but like, if the kid's cool, you don't have to make them feel bad. But honestly, like, even then, that would just be doing a lot, even though it wasn't needed. So yes, OP's friends are right in that she could have just to keep the peace. But it's not like Florida trips are cheap. They're not. So that's kind of a big ask. Like, think about it. It's Disney World. Why would Disney make it affordable? They have no incentive, okay? okay? They have absolutely no shortage of demand. In fact, you know what they should do? All right, you know how people say real estate is the big bucks? Why doesn't Disney start like Disney-themed neighborhoods with like really strict HOA guidelines? Because I know I hate HOA or whatever, but like it's Disney, so kind of have to. But anyway, they could like have Disney-themed neighborhoods and like taverns and stuff for adults, and like it could be like perfect utopia neighborhoods, but like it's super hard to get in just to maintain that exclusivity and magic. And they could be like either in the polar opposite of their setting. So like for instance, you wouldn't have like a Princess and the Frog themed neighborhood in like Louisiana or the Bayou, because like it's what everyone's familiar with. But then again, it's probably like the best place for them to live, which leads me to the next option, which is construct them closest to their canonical geographical location. Barnacle. Alright, this story's called, Am I the Butthole for My Reaction When My Wife Wanted to Sell My Dad's Truck? My dad, 34, male, passed away from lung cancer after struggling for long. It was an incredibly horrible time. My dad was the only parent I had. I've never seen my mom, never met her. My dad was my rock, my support. He was such a strong, confident man that was able to take care of us 4 siblings without hesitation. His death was devastating, and I'm still processing what happened. He passed away 2 weeks ago. Yikes. My dad had a Chevrolet pickup truck that was with him all his life. I had a lot of memories with my dad's truck. Everything about it reminds me of Dad. The seats, the smell, the George Strait cassettes. Whenever I see it or sit in it, I'm brought back to those days. My siblings allowed me to take it. Although it's not running, I wanted to bring it home and start working on it and fix every issue just so I keep my dad's memory alive. I know he'd always wanted to see it and hear it running. I brought it home. My neighbors liked it and asked if it was for sale. I explained what I wanted to do with it and they wished me luck. My wife's reaction was that I shouldn't spend my inheritance money on fixing it because she thought there was no hope. I told her it's not about the money. This is a goal I've set in front of my eyes and I'm willing to do all I can. Plus, I got my brother helping me, so it's okay. My wife had complained about the truck taking up so much space, time and effort. She tried to convince me to sell, but I declined. She said I was wasting my time, but that didn't bother me, so I don't understand what her problem was. Last week, she took pictures of it. I thought nothing of it when she said she wanted to post it on Facebook that displays old trucks and such. But yesterday I got home and my wife sat with me telling me that someone contacted her a few days ago about the truck and said he liked it and offered X money, which she thought was a great deal given the fact that the truck wasn't worth that much. She said the buyer came and looked at it and paid some money up front and said that he would be coming the next day to get paperwork done and pay the rest of the money. She said this was a great deal that I'll be crazy to miss and all I have to do is accept. I lost it. I yelled at her, told her she had no right, and this truck is my entire freaking childhood. I demanded that she contacts the buyer, return the money, and forget this whole thing. She said she won't talk till I calm down. She didn't call the buyer nor listen to me. She said I shouldn't waste money on it, instead make money out of it, especially now. We're still arguing about it till now, and she's acting like I was being harsh on her. Well, my mansky, few words ever said out of anger usually are, you get what I'm saying. I tried to sound all stoic and sage-like, but you know, sometimes it just doesn't stick. Or no, see, that doesn't work either because I didn't even throw it all. Like half of it stuck, but the other half I just kind of gave up mid-throw. But anyway, OP, you're not the butthole. However, just for the interest of everyone being better off, do approach the situation calm. Yeah, explain to her what you've explained to us, and if she doesn't understand that this is a big part of your childhood, then she cray, man. She just absolutely in the wrong-go, and you've done nothing wrong, and it's okay. All right, I got your back, buddy. Sorry for your loss. That really sucks. And if you want to keep that truck and you want to fix it up, do it, because through that you can maybe feel closer to your father, which is important. And I'd argue more now than ever now that he's gone. Alright, this story's called, Am I the Butthole for Making My Husband Feel Less Like a Man? Oh gosh, men and their fragile masculinity. For I would like to say, I love my husband. He is an excellent provider. I wouldn't call him high income, but we are comfortable and I don't have to work. He has an academic job. That being said, he is useless with anything hands-on. Like, he said he was gonna change the driving light in the car once, and I didn't come. And an hour later, I had to go check, and he had the bumper off the car and was working on the side panel. He had missed the 2 bolts that held the headlamp in place. It was sad and cute at the same time. This kind of leads to me taking care of most repairs around the house. But I am 8 months pregnant, and it's getting hard. This week, our washing machine broke. I couldn't fit behind it to do anything because of my stomach. So I just called my dad, who came over and fixed it. This is the first time I've had to do this since we got married. My husband got home from work and my dad was just finishing the repair. My husband lost it, saying it was one thing for me to walk around like the man of the house, but to call my dad? I am telling everyone he can't take care of his wife. Oh God. I tried to tell him that's not the case, but he wouldn't hear it and left. Someone's insecure. I couldn't follow because he took our only car and wouldn't answer his phone. Next call I get was from his mom telling me he is at her place breaking down because I am just using him to pay for everything, nothing more. And that instead of calling my dad, I should have walked him through on how to fix his washing machine. Now he won't come home till I admit I am emasculating him and apologize for trying to be the man of the house. I am so torn. Am I the butthole for calling my dad? I mean, I could have walked him through the repair, but it would have taken longer and I would have to cut into his free time. Oh, honey. Okay, guys, am I the only one who's seeing this? Oh, man. Girl, you gotta respect yourself more. Girl, he literally cried to his mommy. I'm not exaggerating here, okay? Let's break this down, okay? Husband is poopy at fixing things, and that's not a bad thing, okay? Someone in the house should know how to fix something, and if she does, that's sick, okay? She's already home to begin with. All right, so husband sucks at fixing things. Wife fixes things, all right? Wife is pregnant. Wife calls dad. Husband gets upset because wife called dad to fix things instead of letting him fail at it. So husband cries to mommy, and that is like the most literal way I can use that. Instead of dealing with the issue head on, he went and cried to his mom. So this man is a man baby, all right? He's a little baby man, all right? I'm not saying divorce him. That is an extreme action for this reaction, but I suggest you sit down and put your foot down. He is not, look, you're so freaking considerate that you're not wanting to walk him through how to fix it because it would cut into his free time. There are many reasons you could have cited, but you chose that one. And I feel like that's rather indicative of this relationship dynamic. However, this is a very small snippet. This is a small post, so I can't claim to know about it. However, this is not good. OP, you're not the butthole. You have done nothing wrong. Hubby here is a little baby man, as I've said. But honestly, I just really hope he's not having a good day, but he needs to learn how to deal with his problems like an adult, especially when there's spousal issues that this is ridiculous. Do you realize what I'm saying? He's acting like any screw that she indirectly puts in, either through her own action or through her father's actions, is like another millimeter off his penis. So be careful, man. That's 4 screws down. That's like half. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that one, but it was a joke. Alright, this story's called, Am I the butthole for being wanting to drop out of a wedding party since my husband is not being invited? Hi all. I'm a bit confused by this situation, and I'm annoyed by it, but I'm unsure if my being annoying, or annoyed, I don't know if it's a typo or not, makes me a butthole. Any perspective would be appreciated. Some background. I, female 29, have known Jake, male 29, and Amy, female 30, since high school. They've been together since a freshman year of high school, with 2 breakups in between, and are having a micro wedding in July, 30 to 40 guests. I do not particularly care for Jake, or how Jake has treated Amy. He's cheated on her, hence the 2 breakups. But she's forgiven him, so I suck it up for her sake and be nice to him. My husband, who I have been married to for 5 years now, has known both of them for about 7 years. He feels similarly to myself in that he doesn't doesn't care for Jake, but he sucks it up for Amy. Amy asked me to be her maid of honor. I accepted. Only after I accepted did she tell me that my husband isn't invited to the wedding at all. Neither ceremony nor reception. Originally, I was annoyed, but fine with this because 1, it's her wedding, and 2, her wedding is small for obvious reasons. However, I found out that some of the other bridesmaids are having their boyfriends not married. Some are also just +1s for those who are single/not in long-term relationships invited. When I questioned Amy as to why the boyfriends were invited but my husband was not, she claimed it was because Jake didn't think my husband treated him fairly at our wedding. For more background, at our wedding, my husband made a groomsman drop out last minute due to a family emergency. Jake expected to be asked to fill in since Amy was one of the bridesmaids. And when my husband chose a different person, a cousin of my husband, Jake was offended. It seems petty that Jake is holding on to this half a decade later, and it feels frustrating that Amy asked me to be her maid of honor, only telling me about my husband's lack of invite after I accepted. However, it is her wedding, and I can't or shouldn't try to control what she or Jake chooses to do or who to invite. Still, I'm feeling frustrated and am second guessing whether or not I want to remain her maid of honor because it just feels a bit crappy that they're not inviting my husband for some petty grudge that happened at our wedding 5 years ago, but are okay with inviting potential randos. Am I wrong for feeling the way that I do? I've discussed the situation with friends who are not friends with Jake and Amy. Some think that I'm justified in being annoyed or dropping. Others are telling me that it's their wedding so they can choose to invite who they want, just as my husband chose his cousin to be a groomsman instead of Jake. And it's one. I've pretty much been flooded with not the buttholes and have been told to stand up for myself and my husband. So I'm gonna drop out. Neither my husband nor myself deserve the bull they're peddling, and I need to make it clear that my husband is more important than some ridiculous petty grudge. I've tried to talk to Amy about Jake several times about my concerns, but she's blown them off every time. I care about her and love her very much, but she's not returned the same friendship looking back. Guess that was indicative of a bigger issue at hand. Thank you all for your help. I'll update later after I get a hold of Amy. Well, OP, no, you're not the butthole. In fact, you're very understanding, and that's something you should definitely keep up. You need better friends that love you and care about you and don't hold petty grudges like this. In fact, you need friends that'll joke about it. Alright, this story is called, Am I the Butthole for Lashing Out at My Husband or Making a Scene at the Doctor's Office? I want to see two people make a post about the same event and see how differently everything is told, and even if we could tell that they're the same story. But that's not relevant, I was just thinking of it. Me, female 27, and my husband, male 32, have been married for 3 years. He's an accountant and I'm a hairstylist. He always worries too much about money, making tens of plans and changing them without letting me know, setting up budget after budget after budget. He freaks out over small debts. 2020 was a real struggle for us. He started saving money and keeping it at home and calling it for emergencies, although we already have an emergency fund. I gotta say, his behavior would stress me out. I find myself telling him to stop worrying about money too much and to put the pen and calculator down because he'd literally calculate how much we spend a day. It's crazy. I'm currently pregnant. This was planned. My husband was happy, although he started setting budgets and making plans of how much money to save for our baby. I'm in my 13th week, and yesterday we had an appointment with the doctor to do an ultrasound scan. The scan revealed that we're actually expecting a twin. No, this isn't my first pregnancy. I had a baby die at 7 months from my previous marriage. When the doctor told us we were expecting a twin, my husband paused. He just stared, then asked, how could it be, then told the doctor to check again. Then again. At that point, the doctor and I were getting annoyed. I was embarrassed. He threw a fit saying he didn't make plans for a twin and he's only capable of affording one baby. I was so embarrassed when he told the doctor this. The doctor was polite. She said that twins mean double joy, double blessing. My husband laughed at it sarcastically and told the doctor that it was easy for her to say. Some people can't afford more than one child, and made comments about her salary and how much she's paid. I felt horrible, and I kept apologizing for his behavior. We got home. He argued that the doctor didn't seem professional and demanded we see another doctor, and that's when I lost it. I lashed out at him and told him making a scene at the doctor's office and embarrassing me like that was not okay. He defended himself, saying he was just expressing his frustration, that he didn't make plans for a twin and can only afford to provide for one baby. I called him ridiculous for how he said it, and he got mad and told me I shouldn't try to police his emotions and control his reactions, then left the house. He'd sent a text later telling me that I hurt his feelings and that his opinions matter too. He's expecting me to apologize, but I don't want to after causing more stress than what I'm already dealing with. Now it's silence. Was I the butthole? Should I have let him speak like that? He made it seem like he was disappointed. He in some way ruined my joy, to be honest. As someone who already experienced a loss of a baby, this hurt me a lot. Note, I suggested therapy and he got offended, asking how I could think he needs therapy for trying to think about our future. Alright. Here's my opinion. As a father, in the future, potentially, if I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a kid or kids. If not on purpose, then definitely by accident one of these days. I'm kidding. Anyway, as a dude, alright, this guy already seems like he's nervous about money and stuff, and honestly, he's an accountant. Makes sense, because money's scary, I guess. But also, it seems like a dude who likes to over-prepare for things, and if that one baby was already having him on edge like that, then, you know, being surprised with the news that he's getting too, well, that's gonna be a surprise to him. And yeah, it's terrifying, because, I imagine taking care of twins is probably maybe around, I don't know exactly how I'm getting this number, but I'm assuming like maybe twice the amount of work as one baby.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.